For more, we're joined by our own Douglas Herbert. In Brian Quinn's report there, we see all the parties invited except the far-right AFD.
Yeah, and that's deliberate, obviously. The AfD, from Merkel's point of view, from the point of view of Germany's president, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, it's the party that's most responsible for stoking up and inciting the type of fear and hatred and loathing of foreigners and migrants, obviously not on a par with the crimes of the Nazi era. But as the head of Germany's Council of Jews, Joseph Schuster, said, while you can't make that direct equation between what we see today, the attacks on Jews and migrants and Muslims and other foreigners in Germany, there is definitely something that goes off, an alarm bell that goes off in your head. And he said that it's basically a disgrace for Germany that such things, that these types of attacks can still happen in the country today, given its history. Merkel and the president of Germany sort of called, what we're seeing right now a rupture in civilization. And Kristallnacht, I mean, we saw some of the images there. It didn't really begin to tell, the true story of what happened on that night when you literally had hundreds of synagogues torched. In fact, the synagogue in which Angela Merkel was speaking today, the Riegerstrasse, is Germany's largest synagogue, and as the head of the Jewish community in Germany said, it was actually one of the synagogues that was torched, set ablaze by Nazis on the night of Kristallnacht. The only reason it survived is because the firefighters quickly put out the blaze, not to save the synagogues, but to save the non-Jewish homes and businesses surrounding it. And that was the atmosphere of the time. You had 7,500, Jewish businesses looted, vandalized, destroyed. Obviously, Germany is nowhere near today, and Germany, unlike a lot of other countries, including here in Europe, has done its work of educating the next generations and really confronting its history, educating about the horrors of its Nazi past. So they've been, if not inculcated with that, there's been a real sense of contrition among Germans generation after generation. They've done that sort of work. But Angela Merkel is still extremely vigilant, and you could sort of sense it in the things she said today when she's talking about, the rupture in civilization, and when she's talking about, we're living in a time of far-reaching change, she said. And at times like that, it's particularly dangerous when certain people can use simple solutions. It becomes very attractive to flock to their message, obviously an allusion to parties such as the Alternative for Deutschland, which was not invited.